This is a Retro Arms V3 gearbox, and this is going to be a small review of it. I'm going to use it on an E&L AKM. And the reason why I got it is because this is the original gearbox. It's pretty damn strong, but I'm moving to an M210 spring and I'm having problems with this one. So as you can see, there's a little bit of grinding there, and I think because of that I get compression loss because some metal pieces get into the O-rings, and yeah, in general this should be stronger and a better gearbox, so that's the reason that I'm switching to it. Together with the gearbox I ordered this hop-up unit. They're actually both exactly the same. I'm doing some tests here with short and tight bore barrels, so stay tuned for that as well. But yeah, this is the Retro Arms hop-up unit, and yeah, here's what you get in the box for the gearbox. So you get the gearbox. This one is basically untouched with the exception of the bushings that I added. You don't get the bushings. Also added this one. You naturally get it into the bag of screws, but I already added it. Other than that, I haven't touched anything here. This is the bag of screws that you get, and this is the spring guide that you get. Other than that, you don't get anything with the gearbox. That's all you get. And for the hop-up unit as well, you only get what you see here. I've already assembled it. Plus two screws that I won't be using, but anyway, that's beside the point. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to migrate the things that I have here on this gearbox to this one. So yeah, I'm going to assemble it, and I'm going to do some tests, and we're going to see what happens. For the weight, let's do a small comparison. So here's the whole shell. Adding it. Can't even measure on the weight. 114 grams, okay. Let's add a single piece of the OEM gearbox. 130. So that's more than twice the weight. But yeah, this is steel and this is aluminum. And you'll say, well, why did you go to aluminum? It's not as strong, but actually this aluminum alloy should be so strong, in fact, that it should be stronger than this one. But we'll see that. I just finished shimming the gears, and I noticed something very cool. So this gearbox has this small cutout where you can take your motor basically and plug it in. Give me a second. And you can check if it's actually, if it needs to be pushed up or down, which is very nice. Usually you would try to do that by sound. You shoot a few times, you see the gears whining, that means that the connection is not good and so on. But yeah, that's really nice. One thing that's missing from the hardware is the bolt that keeps the trigger assembly. And what I ended up doing is I used one of the bolts that's for this latch here, and I just used my own hardware, but just so you know, yeah. And without this bolt, it's very annoying because the cables are having a pressure on the trigger assembly and it keeps popping off, and yeah, it's pain to have to set it every time. But yeah, other than that, I think the other bolts are present. For Mosfets though, as you can see, it is much better. So obviously for the Mosfet I don't need that screw here. it is held in place by the cut-off lever. So yeah, that's much better. So I guess this gearbox is just made intended for use of Mosfet, because I guess if someone's gonna buy as expensive gearbox as this one, he's probably wanna use a Mosfet as well. Not like me, but I'm now part of the Mosfet community as well, because well, I ordered it, so I might as well use it. And this is how I fixed, at least I think I have fixed my problem with this shaving here. So on the new gearbox, I just drilled a hole and I then threaded it. I have a separate video for that. I'll link it in the description, how exactly it happened, but as you can see, no flex in the spring guide, so basically this should keep it from turning downwards and touching these parts of the gearbox here. And here's a small test while shooting. So here we are now, a few months later, after I installed the gearbox and the hop-up. So now I can properly give you my impressions in terms of long-term usage. So I've shot around a few kilograms of 0.32 BB, so quite a lot of shots there. No signs of wear. By the way, I use a longer inner barrel now, so that the shots are a little bit more consistent. The spring inside is an M190. I ditched the M210 because there was not much power gain compared to M190, but there's no stress at all on the gearbox. It works flawlessly on the inside. There's no signs of wear and so on. The fitment, as you can see, is perfect. Also, I changed, you saw my fix here for the wobbly spring, but I then saw that RetroArm sells these washers here, which are very thin and they fit inside, so I just bought that for, I think it was $11. So now it's guaranteed that the spring will not wobble up and down, so that's good. Otherwise, you maybe saw from the old gearbox that there were some metal shavings, which was then causing loss of compression because the shaving will glue to the O-ring, and that will cause the air to slip. But anyways, it's working perfect. The fitment is good. What I forgot to mention, that the fitment between the hop-up and the gearbox is incredible. With the bolt here holding it in place, it's not, moving at all. So yeah, and I think that's pretty much it for the gearbox. It's of course expensive, but it's well made. And especially, if you're having an E&L AK, maybe it's not worth upgrading, but if you have a different gearbox that's not as good as the E&L Steel one, then I would say definitely worth upgrading the hop-up and the gearbox. So thanks for watching, see you next time.